In the same manner as we created our coordination views in the previous lesson, we are now going to create a set of floor plans of the architectural discipline. It is useful to create some views with only the architectural elements. This way you get a better look at what the architect sees in his model. To do this, we are going to dive a little deeper into view templates and the visibility and graphic overrides of views. In the visibility graphics override, we can set the graphics of the linked file separately from our own model. During this lesson, we will enter a lot of submenus and modify a lot of properties to get just the look that we want for our architectural floor plans. So, now that we have created our coordination plans, we are now going to create architectural plans. The reason why you want to create architectural plans is because you want to view the model in the same way as the architect views his model. Sometimes the architect will have extra annotations or tags or it's all extra information on his views that we do not directly see when we link this model into our model. So everything will become more clear once we have the plan, once we have the architectural plan set up. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, I know for a fact that the architectural plan can be exactly the same as the coordination plan, except for one little setting that will need to be different. So, for the architectural plan, there is already a view template available. What we are going to do is copy our coordination views, go to the project browser and once again duplicate the views. Do this for every level, like that. Then select our copied views, go to the properties and edit the view template and set the view template to architectural plan. And then click on OK. There, now our architectural views are placed under the architectural discipline. There is no sub-discipline provided, so that is why we see these question marks in the project browser. Now, if you do not like question marks, you can go ahead and change the view template to include a sub-discipline for the views. For example, just call it architectural again. There we go. Now, while we are here in the view properties options, let's also set the detail level to medium. Most of the architectural elements are visible from the medium detail level, so that should be fine. If in doubt, you can always put it on fine, but it shouldn't really matter. Then there's one thing that we need to change, and that is the override RVT links. Now, if you disable this tick box and then click on OK, let's first rename our views. Like that. And now, when we go into the visibility graphics override for a view, for a floor plan, let's go to the floor plan level 1, then go to the visibility graphics overrides dialog. Here we see that all the categories are enabled, so that is good. But what we really want to do is show the model, the floor plan, in a way that the architect also views it. So what you can do, these are the model categories, and all the way to the right there is the Revit links tab. And when you click on that, you get a list of all the linked files. So in this case, that is only the education building final. And right now its display settings are set to by host view. What this means is that its settings, its visibility graphic override settings, are aligned with our own model, with the MEP model, which is the host view. The architectural model is linked into the host view. So all the categories from the architectural file are set according to our own model categories. So if we go into the Revit links and then click on by host view, we have the ability to change this. So if I click on under basics on custom, I can now change for the model categories. I can now change it by setting it to custom, and then I can now enable or disable the categories from the linked file without enabling or disabling those same categories for our own file. So why is this important? Well, that is because if we go back to the basics and we can click on by linked view, yes, we want to, then you can select a linked view from the architectural file. Now, these are all the floor plans in the architectural file, and we see a floor plan level 1. Let's select that one, and then when we click on apply, as you can see, something happened here. Right now, if we click on OK, click OK again, this floor plan now looks exactly like it does when you would open the architectural file. So as you can see, it has now added annotations for the room name and number and its area. So this gives us more information about this floor plan than we would otherwise see if we only look at a, for instance, coordination view. So now we have set up the view to look exactly as it does in the architectural view. Let's also apply these same settings to the other floor plans. Let's go to level 2. Once again, we go to the visibility graphics override. There we select Revit links, click on by host view, then click on by linked view, and here we select level 2. OK. OK. Now this is something that cannot be defined in the view template, because in the view template we could only select a single view for all the floor plans. So we could set it to by linked view, but then we would have to choose, for instance, level 1 for every floor plan. So then the linked view for level 1 would also be applied to our level 2, 3, and 4. So while this takes more work for setting it up, it can be really useful, as it will show you more information than you would normally see. So, okay, good, and then finally the fourth, Revit links, by host view, by linked view, and then the TO parapet. Okay, very nice. Let's go back to our level 1 architectural view. Now, as you can see, we have these room tags, and these room tags indicate that there must be a room in the architectural model. Now, how can we see these rooms? I only see a room tag, but there is actually a room object in the architectural model. So We can enable that by going to the Visibility Graphics Overrides and then go to Revit Links, click on By Linked View, and then go to Model Categories. Now, these are the settings for the visibility of the model categories in the architectural file. And if you scroll down, you will see that there is a category called Rooms. Now, if you expand this, you will see that it has subcategories for color fill, interior fill, and reference. And what I would like to enable is the reference, because the reference will show us the room in a floor plan. So right now this is grayed out. So what I am going to do is go back to the Basics tab, then click on Custom, and while I have clicked on Custom, all the settings are still the same. So nothing has changed just yet. But if I now go to my Model Categories and then expand the Model Categories drop-down box, and here I will choose Custom. Or, better yet, if I choose Custom right now, I could enable this reference and things will be visible. So if I enable this and click on Apply, there, you see these crosses appear on the floor plan. Those are the rooms that we want to get. But right now I have only set it up for my floor plan level 1. What I really want to do is enable it for all my views. And this is still possible even though we are in the Revit link display settings. So what I'm going to do is drop down this box and set it to by host view. So what we get now is a mix of linked view settings and host view settings. So this can be very confusing, and if you do not understand it right away, it is not a problem. We will get back to it later on in the course. So just follow along. Let's click on OK and click on OK again. Now, the crosses have disappeared. But because we have set the model categories to be set by the host view, we can go to the view template. And in the view template, we are going to go to the Visibility Graphics Overrides model. And then here we are going to look up the rooms, expand the category, and enable the reference. So remember, when we were just in the Revit display settings, we told those settings to look at the host model settings. So these are the host model settings. And in the Revit link display settings, we are referring to these settings. So now I am enabling the reference for rooms. I would click on OK, click it again, and now they are visible as well. So now these settings have been applied through the view template, and they will be visible for all the architectural views. Good, so now we can see the rooms in the architectural model. Now, why is this important? Because we are going to create something similar in our own MEP model. Now we can select the rooms just like we would select the levels a few lessons back. So if you hover over the reference lines, the crosses of the rooms, and press the Tab key on the keyboard, you can see that the room lights up. So after that, use the left mouse button to click and select it. And as you can see in the properties windows, we now have the room selected. These are the parameters of this room. You can see its name and its number, and those parameters are also displayed in the room tag right here, as well as the area. So what we are going to do in our model is create spaces. Spaces are similar to rooms, but they are specific to MEP models, and spaces have more default values for calculation of ventilation, heating, cooling, etc. In this lesson, we set up some really complex view template properties for our architectural views. All those dialogues, options, and tick boxes we worked our way through might seem a bit intimidating when you have only just started using Revit. Just keep in mind that everything will start to fall in place the more you do this. So, do not feel embarrassed if you have the feeling like you have to watch this lesson 2 or maybe more times to understand it. We will also repeat these same steps in a later lesson once more so that we will be provided with some extra practice.